Hi guys, welcome back to the channel again. I got a message today from one of my subscribers. His name is H2 Fowler 2012, which means Water Fowler 2012. And he'd asked what type of equipment that I use and how I edit my videos, and I had been thinking about doing some videos on this. I'm going to go over just a few things that I do. First off is, as you'll see on the screen, there is a program called Sony Vegas Platinum. When I purchased it about a year ago, it was $100, and that's the one that I use. I did use Microsoft's Movie Maker for the longest, but when they came out with Windows 7, they took the feature off to where you couldn't narrate over the videos, and I didn't like that because most of all my earlier videos, that's the way I did it. I narrated over them. But now I've changed. I've got a little bit more equipment. I'll show you a few shots here of some of the equipment that's set up here right now. I've got a couple of lights, very inexpensive. I've got some reflectors and things like that I use when I'm out on locations doing stuff or outside. And then I also have the boom mic, which is right above my head here, which is a Rode boom mic, which will fit on the camera and will also fit on this boom pole that I purchased. But like I say, a lot of this equipment is fairly inexpensive. I mean, I've done it over a long period of time. Usually that's what I ask for birthday or Christmas. When I first started, I started out with this Nikon Coolpix. Almost all my videos up until about, I guess last March, I guess it was, so it's been almost a year, because that's when I got my new camera, my Canon T2i, and I'll also put a picture of that on the screen here. That's the one that I'm using right now. It shoots in high definition. It's just really a really nice camera. It has a very good video card thing inside of it that just does a really good job. It only records for 12 minutes at a time. I don't understand that, but I have to watch the clock so that I know that I haven't ran off, because it will actually turn itself off and I will not know it and keep on talking. But this is what I started with. It doesn't take much, guys. The GoPros, anything that you've got, they're really all do pretty good now, especially for YouTube, because most everybody's watching it on a small screen. If they go full screen, they may start seeing a little bit of what you call noise, where it gets a little, wiggly in the screen and stuff. Get you a good tripod, and this one here, I really did not like it when I saw it at Walmart. One reason I didn't like it is it didn't have the braces in the legs here, and I thought that's just not going to be really stable, and I knew I was getting a larger camera, so I was like, I don't think I will. Well, Tina went out and she bought it for me for a birthday present. She didn't know, and she thought I'd like it, but I'm going to tell you something. I was wrong. This is one of the neatest tripods. If you're not familiar with what they call a Steadicam, which is, cameras nowadays are so small that if you're videoing and you're walking, you get to doing this kind of stuff, and especially when you're walking, because it's an up and down motion, and the film gets shaky. Well, they make a thing that's balanced, that you set your camera on, and matter of fact, I'm working on one of those, and I should have a video on that pretty shortly, I hope. But I had seen a Steadicam for nothing, is what it was called, and a young man had a tripod, but he didn't have one like this. He had one that had the braces in it, and he took the pin out and took the brace loose to where he could take and he could pull the leg up to where it was like this. Now this one does that because it has these little locks. That's the reason why there's not any braces in here. So once you do this, as you can tell, it's not very balanced there, but you can adjust it. You can even lengthen the legs if you want to let the legs out longer to balance it. If your camera's fairly heavy, then what you do is you take this and you turn this. Let's see, like this. There we go, like that there. Now this is where the camera would mount. In other words, the camera would mount on here just like this. And you would not believe how much steadier this is when you're walking. And you can hold this like this, and this thing has just got a smooth action that when you're moving it, everything seems to be just nice and smooth, and gives you some really good shots, and gives you some good motion in your videos. Another thing about this thing is that what I first started using it for is, if you'll notice, like I say, the legs lock out. They lock in these positions. That if you're doing something like, let's say you're doing product photography, or you're wanting to do a review on something, you can take this and now it sets at an angle. Let's see if I can get this right. Get this leg in some. And if you'll notice, it's leaning over now. I'll do it this way. It's leaning over now to where if you're videotaping and your camera is on here, pointed down, the legs are not in the way. So if you're wanting to do a product, then you've got the camera mounted, and then when you get here and you want to do it and use your hands, then everything's in view. I really like this, and I did several things. Matter of fact, I used this tripod when I was doing my AR-15 builds, to where you could see my hands, because a lot of times, and I know how it is when you don't have a tripod that's good for this, is that you'll set your tripod up, well, the legs are in the way. If they're pointing, you know, like this, and the camera's pointing down, you'll see the legs. And so a lot of guys will set it off to the side and get with their product this way, and now your hands are getting in the way. So this is really a good tripod. I don't think it was really that expensive, and like I say, it is at Walmart. Came with a good bag. It's a great size to carry with you if you're out, you know, on vacation or something like that. And matter of fact, my bag has straps on it to where I can just strap it to the side of my bag, and my bag is a backpack. Really nice bag, and I'll do something on it sometime too. It doesn't take a lot of equipment. It really doesn't. So just take your time. If you have to, build you some things of your own. You don't have to have fancy lights. As a matter of fact, the fluorescent lights that I have on my ceiling that you saw in the video there is putting out a tremendous amount of light. It really is. And the more light that you have, the more depth of field that you have. In other words, if it's dim, you still can make the video look good, but things will happen like the background will be out of focus, or maybe the foreground will be out of focus and you'll be in focus. This way, the more light you've got, the more depth of field that you can get with your video, because you can use it at a smaller aperture opening. Now, another item I have here that was fairly inexpensive and works really good if you're out, you know, outside working and you get a lot of harsh light and you know, shadows on the face or things like this. If you've got someone with you, it helps a lot. But if you don't, you can use a small stand and put this on here. I don't recall how much it was, but I will find it, and I will put the links to all this stuff at the bottom in the description box. You can click on them, and then it should take you to where these items are found. But this is called a reflector, like so. Okay, now if you'll notice that, I don't know exactly what's going on here right now, but if you'll notice that the light on my face is going to change quite a bit just by holding this reflector up, because it's reflecting from this bulb over here, and you should be able to see some of the light changing. It also has a really good side that's this color, that if you're outside in the sun, someone can hold this and reflect light back, and gives it a nice kind of a glow. And this has white, silver, and gold, and then it also has a diffuser on the inside of it, to where you can actually hold it up and let the light come through this and diffuse the light for you. But as you can tell, there's a big difference there when I do this and then when I do that, because I'm blocking the light. But you can make something like this. You don't have to buy this. Like I said, I don't recall how much it was. It's just easy to handle. Tina lots of times will just hold this for me whenever I'm videotaping, and it will help me a lot to throw some light or catch some light on someone if we're outside, and if they're in the shade, you can step out in the sun with this and reflect the light back onto them in the shade, and it helps a lot. So that's one item. Like I say, and these are things that you can make. Also, I'm going to show you something else. I have made myself a green screen. I found this called Chroma Acrylic, and it is a student acrylic paint that I guess they sell to schools. I found it on the internet. This is actually the correct color for the green screen, and this bottle was, I think, $7. And what I did was, and I'll show you in this this video shot, the old days of the projection screens in schools is just about gone. Everything has went to, you know, new overheads, things that shoot on the walls, and they just don't use the old projection screens anymore. And a lot of times they have what they call smart boards, which is the actual board, and what we used to call a chalkboard. It's called a smart board, and you can do everything on it, and you can even project images on it for a video or something like that. Or a lot of them just bring in, you know, big screen TVs nowadays. It's inexpensive, but schools all over the country, and this was given to me by a friend that lives in Chicago, and she's a teacher, or she lived in the Chicago area and she's a teacher, and the Chicago school systems just threw them away. And this thing worked out great. I took this acrylic paint, I painted the screen, I mounted it on the wall inside my man cave here, and I can pull it down anytime I want to, and I'll have a green screen behind me, which will help. Now this paint does have somewhat of a semi sheen to it. I don't want to say gloss, but a semi sheen that you have to watch how you direct your light on it, because you'll have some hot spots. I'm going to have to find something in a matte finish spray. They sell it in a can that you can just spray it on something and it gives it that matte finish. It's clear, and I'm going to eventually end up doing that. So that's another way to save you some money, and I like the screen because it's out of the way, and it worked out really good for me. This is something else that I built. This is made out of PVC pipe, some handlebar grips. It's a little dusty because it's been sitting out here in the shop, but I've used it several times. And what this does is when you've got a camera that's this small, the smaller your camera, the harder it is to hold steady. You got a camera this small, you can actually mount this camera here. There we go. Now, once you get it mounted on there, you can actually do like this, hold this, move it, get yourself some good shots. Or if you're standing somewhere, you can lock this against you and you can hold it steady by watching the back of the screen, or you can hold it out like this. It helps also because it gives you a little more grip. And the top portion here was set up for a piece of PVC pipe that it would actually hold my boom mic that I have up there and mount it. And that way, if I'm doing some kind of interview, or if I'm talking to somebody, or if I'm walking behind them, this makes it a whole lot easier. Or let's say that, you know, it's just the fact that you're trying to get down low somewhere and you can move this thing around, and it just really gives you a whole lot more steadiness, and it's all made out of PVC pipe. Thanks a lot, and come back again, guys. Thank you.